September 1942. Stalingrad was dying, and with it, thousands of soldiers' sanity. In the rubble-strewn streets, a legend began taking shape, one that would haunt both German and Soviet forces through the brutal winter. The first reports seemed isolated, insignificant, but they would grow into one of World War II's most enduring psychological mysteries. It began with Lieutenant Klaus Richter's diary entry on September 18th. 2 men lost today to single shots. No muzzle flash detected, no sound of firing. The men are calling it Der Geist, the ghost. I dismissed it as fatigue, but the pattern continues. Simultaneously, across the front lines, Soviet Sergeant Mikhail Petrov reported to his commander, "Our scouts keep falling to perfect headshots. The Germans have some new kind of sniper. He leaves no trace, gives no warning. The men are calling him Terrorized Strelok, the shadow shooter." What made these early reports remarkable was their identical nature despite coming from opposing armies. Both described single shots with no audible report, impossible trajectories, and an unseen shooter who left no trace. The kill count began climbing, 5 by month's end, then 15 by mid-October. Military archives reveal curious details about these initial weeks. The kills occurred in Sector 5, the industrial district around the Red October factory. This area featured particularly dense urban destruction. Multi-story buildings reduced to skeletal frames, creating perfect sniper positions and acoustic anomalies. Private Franz Bauer, German signals operator, noted in his journal, "The shots seem to come from everywhere at once. We've set up observation posts on 3 buildings. Nothing. He's like smoke." Similar frustration echoed from Soviet positions, where experienced snipers like Vasily Zaitsev initially suspected a new German super sniper. By late October, the phenomenon had commanders concerned, not just about casualties, but about morale. Soldiers hesitated to move between positions. Sentries reported seeing shadows and feeling watched. The ghost was becoming a psychological weapon more effective than any single sniper. Dr. Elena Ivanova, military psychologist, later analyzed these reports. The conditions were perfect for mass psychological phenomenon. Extreme stress, sleep deprivation, constant danger. Human minds sought patterns in random events. Different snipers' work became attributed to one supernatural entity. The urban environment contributed significantly. Stalingrad's ruins created unusual acoustic properties. A shot from 400 meters could sound like it came from 50. Shattered concrete reflected and distorted sounds unpredictably. Shooters could remain hidden while their shots seemed to originate from impossible locations. As November's cold descended, the legend intensified. Estimated ghost kills reached 30, though confirmed records showed only 18. The pattern remained mystifying. Always headshots, always from varying distances, always without warning. Both commands launched initial investigations. German intelligence initially suspected Soviet psychological warfare. Soviet commanders thought the same of Germans. Yet neither side's propaganda departments had created the phenomenon. The ghost had emerged organically from the battlefield's terror. By month's end, something curious happened. The killings began occurring simultaneously in different sectors, 2 kills, minutes apart, kilometers away. This timing impossibility fueled the supernatural theories. Soldiers started seeing the ghost everywhere, in every shadow, every ruined window. The stage was set for the legend's explosive growth into the brutal Stalingrad winter. But the truth, when it began emerging, would prove even more fascinating than the ghost stories. As the Stalingrad winter tightened its grip, the ghost legend reached its peak. November 1942 became the turning point where military commands shifted from dismissal to serious investigation. The phenomenon was no longer just battlefield gossip, it was affecting operational effectiveness. German High Command launched Operation Geisterjäger on November 5th. Special teams of seasoned snipers and intelligence officers were deployed exclusively to hunt the ghost. Their orders: observe, document, and eliminate. For 3 weeks, they tracked every suspicious movement, analyzed every kill site. The results were baffling. Captain Erich von Holtz reported, "We've confirmed 12 kills in our sector alone, different calibers, varying distances. This isn't one shooter, either multiple elite snipers or something we don't understand." Similar frustration came from Soviet hunter teams who'd been tracking the phenomenon since October. Then came the breakthrough discovery. On November 22nd, a German observation post recorded something peculiar. 2 ghost kills occurred simultaneously, 1.2 kilometers apart. Mathematical analysis showed no single shooter could achieve this. The revelation spread through both commands. There was no super sniper. Military psychologists were brought into the investigation. Dr. Carl Schmidt, attached to the Sixth Army, documented, "The soldiers' need for a supernatural explanation stems from the unbearable randomness of death here. Attributing kills to one ghost gives the illusion of pattern, making the chaos manageable." Acoustic studies revealed Stalingrad's ruins created extraordinary sound distortions. A shot from the Barricadi factory complex could be heard as coming from the Red October plant. The urban canyon effect, combined with destroyed buildings' unique acoustics, made sniper localization nearly impossible. As December's temperatures plummeted to 30 degrees C, the legend evolved. Soldiers now reported seeing the ghost, a figure in white camouflage, a shadow between ruins, a fleeting silhouette. These sightings consistently occurred during extreme fatigue or in poor visibility conditions. The military commands made a crucial decision. Instead of debunking the myth, they weaponized it. German propaganda leaflets proclaimed, "The ghost of Stalingrad protects our brave soldiers." Soviet political officers told troops, "The spirit of Mother Russia fights with us against the fascists." Archival evidence shows both sides deliberately created ghost incidents. German snipers would take shots from unusual positions to mimic the pattern. Soviet marksmen did the same. The legend became a self-fulfilling prophecy, with both sides feeding the myth they'd initially feared. By January 1943, as the battle reached its brutal conclusion, researchers made their final assessment. Analysis of all documented ghost kills showed they were the work of at least 8 different snipers from both sides, using various weapons at ranges from 200 to 800 meters. The perfect headshot pattern emerged because only clean kills were attributed to the ghost. Other shots were considered normal combat. The urban environment provided the final piece. Stalingrad's unique layout allowed snipers to fire, relocate through ruins, and fire again from completely different angles, creating the illusion of multiple simultaneous kills. When the battle ended in February 1943, the ghost phenomenon disappeared as suddenly as it began. With the fighting over, the psychological conditions that created it vanished. Yet veterans on both sides maintained their belief in the ghost for decades after. Modern analysis confirms the Stalingrad ghost was a perfect storm of combat psychology, urban warfare conditions, and human need for meaning in chaos. It reveals how extreme stress can create shared beliefs that become more real than reality itself. The ghost's true legacy isn't in military archives, but in understanding how ordinary soldiers coped with extraordinary circumstances. Their created legend helped them endure the unendurable, and that may be the most important truth of all. Did this conclusion surprise you? Share your thoughts below. Subscribe for more real Tabugi psychological mysteries. Next, the Warsaw Uprising betrayal. Stalin's calculated decision.